Have you ever believed in something so deeply that the whole world laughed at you? This is the story of a little girl, a dead plant, and a lesson that will stay in your heart forever. In a small village where the sun hit hard and the land was dry, lived a young girl named Mira. She was no more than 10 years old, with wide eyes full of dreams and a heart that believed in miracles. Mira didn't have much, no toys, no gadgets, but what she had was a clay pot on her windowsill and a seed she had planted inside. Every morning, she would wake up early, fill her little cup with water from the hand pump, and pour it gently into the dry soil. And every morning, the other kids laughed at her. "It's dead," they teased. "Nothing is going to grow there. Why are you wasting your time?" Even adults began to notice. The neighbors whispered. One auntie even told her mother, "She's too old to be playing with mud and dead things. Teach her to stop dreaming. She needs to learn what's real." But Mira said nothing. She simply smiled and continued her routine. Day after day, morning after morning, whether it rained or the sun burned hotter than ever, she watered that dead pot of soil as if it was the most alive thing in the world. Her mother once asked, "Mira, do you really think something will grow?" And Mira replied with the gentlest voice, "I don't know, Amma, but what if it does?" That question, "what if it does?" was what kept her going. Even when the soil cracked, even when nothing showed, even when everyone rolled their eyes and shook their heads, Mira stood in front of her little pot like it was a garden in the making. 30 days passed, no leaves, no sprout, not even a sign of green. But on the morning of the 31st day, something unbelievable happened. Just as Mira was about to pour her water, she gasped. There, pushing through the soil, was a tiny green shoot, delicate, fragile, but real. A new life had broken through where the world had seen only death. Her eyes welled with tears, not because something had finally grown, but because her belief had bloomed, her faith had taken root. Soon, everyone in the village came to see it. Some smiled, some stood in stunned silence. The same children who once mocked her now sat beside her, watching the little stem sway in the wind. Some even brought their own pots, hoping to try what she did. But the truth was, it wasn't about the plant, it was about the heart behind it. Because what Mira had watered wasn't just a seed. She had watered hope, she had fed faith, she had chosen patience over proof, and that changed everything. One school teacher, deeply moved by her story, asked her, "Why didn't you stop, Mira?" Everyone said it was useless. She looked up, with a soft smile and eyes still full of wonder, and said, "Because sometimes you don't need proof to believe. You need belief before there's proof." That line stayed with him, and soon, the story of the girl who watered a dead plant spread far beyond the village. It was shared in classrooms, printed in local papers, even talked about in spiritual circles. People who had given up on their dreams suddenly remembered what it felt like to try again. Those who had lost hope in love, in healing, in change, found a spark again, all because of one little girl, a clay pot, and a simple act repeated for 30 days. Years later, Mira became a botanist. She studied plants, but more than that, she taught children how to believe, not just in science, but in silent prayers, in quiet persistence, in the magic of never giving up. And the very pot that once held a dead-looking seed, it still sits on her windowsill. That plant is tall now, strong, with flowers that bloom every season, not because it was special, but because someone believed in it when no one else did. So if you ever feel like the world is laughing at your effort, if you're doing something and everyone says it won't work, if you're standing in front of dry, cracked soil and pouring water with no sign of change, remember Mira, remember her story, and ask yourself, what if it does? Because sometimes life is just waiting to see if we'll believe long enough for the miracle to arrive.